outcome, oh, you'll give it to a whack dude before and then make a good guy wait. I don't think that you're trying to make the good guy wait. I think that you want him to see the value in you. Sometimes I'm like, all right, if I give it to him too soon, he's gonna think, like I'm not a good girl, or there's no, like, I'm just a quick, easy F or whatever. And I think that's sometimes what women will do. They'll make the guy that they really like wait longer because that's who they really like see potential in. I might see a husband in you. And just like men like see certain women like, oh, she's wifey material, or, she's just somebody I'm gonna smash. I think women are able to do that as well. Like, oh, he's got a lot of good qualities. He got some good stuff going for himself. I'm gonna just, let me see how it goes. Let me make him wait for it.
You know what women hate? Women hate, especially when other women tell the truth about women. They hate it so much. Oh man. On the actual post where they had this up where I got this from, man, they were going in on a chick. They were saying things along the lines of sometimes we don't know what we talking about in reference to her. She just said a whole bunch of nothing. They even said, and this is how come some of y'all chicks are stupid because y'all do this. Instead of admitting that they do it themselves, they try to shame her like she's dumb for doing this, like they don't do it themselves, like most women don't do this, so it was a bunch of comments really just going in on her and just going crazy. But this is the thing. This is not new news. Everybody has heard nice guys finish last. And even a lot of dudes who are, I hate to use this term, but like blue pill. I don't really do the pills and stuff like that. But guys who really don't subscribe to all of this and they like really like, just not into, the truth. Some guys really hate it, and I'm not going to lie. Every time I usually see it, it's a degree of pandering in there. They're saying it because they want to be in alignment with the belief of women and stuff like that. That's what they do. They don't want to believe anything that could risk the chance of getting them some pussy. So you have that. You have the nice guy versus a jerk. You have the Pookies and Ray Rays and Tyrones versus the, have nots. I don't think they have a term for those. You have the Chads, and then you have the whatever the white version is, Coomers or whatever, you have all that stuff. Where basically the people, and even Rolo has it because he got some of his stuff from Dr. David Buss and all this stuff, basically women look at you as a long-term mate. They're going to withhold the sex, and if they look at you as a short-term mate, then they are gonna just throw that coochie at you. They gonna let it fall off the bone for you, dog. Now, a lot of people have different twists on this as far as like other people in the manosphere content creation space and stuff like that. They'll tell you some shit like, oh, women don't really like assholes. They really like guys who are assertive and like whatever the fuck. I don't like whatever. And I'm not trying to shit on nobody. I don't even know who says that. It's just something that I heard before, and I'm sure I turned the fucking video off because ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. This is just what it is, man. We're going to talk about why, but the thing I need you to understand is the why really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You really just have to get this through your head and understand what it is. And depending on what your goals are and what your aspirations are and what your aim is with a woman and things like that, or just women in general, you have to move accordingly. You have to do things in alignment with the goals that you have. Period, point blank. So with that being said, if you do things that make you look like not just a nice guy, but somebody that would be a great long-term mate, that's going to trigger it in her head. And now you have to be the guy to take her on 16 dates. Now that's you. But if you do certain things that trigger that, you know what? This guy is sexy. My coochie gets wet. I'm percolating. The sweat beads are rolling down my head, thinking about what this guy's cock is like. If you do those things, then you will have a different result. You might not even have to go on a date. That's the thing. A lot of these fake ass dating coaches, they never gonna tell you. They never push it. And I'm gonna tell you why they don't push it. They don't push it because it's an unhealthy narrative for society, and it's an unhealthy idea to put in people's heads. But it's the truth. It's really what's going on in the streets. It's really what's going on in the community. These guys are telling you, as far as like, certain people from a certain school of thought, that you have to be a high value man to get woman. And to be a high value man, you have to make $1 million gajillion. And bare minimum, you have to make six figures. You got to have a six pack. You got to go get the leg extensions and be 6 feet. All of that stuff. They're going to tell you all that shit. But then you got the other guys who tell you, oh man, looks don't matter. You got to have charisma, charisma, charisma. Oh, you got to work on your pickup. You got to go approach 50 women a day. You got the guys telling you that you just got to focus on self-improvement, and all the women are just going to start falling out the sky like Attack on Titan or something like that. It's just going to be a bunch of chicks just falling, and it's just going to be raining women on you just when you get your shit together, right? Once you get a house, once you finally get the mortgage, now you can get bitches. Finally you can get bitches. And then you have one guy who said something along the lines. He said this years ago. I'm not going to say a name, but he said, if you are just messing with chicks without going on no dates, these are sleazeballs. You a sleazeball. These are low value women. These are all this shit. They are doing that because they are being responsible and trying to give you a good narrative instead of telling you what's really going on. You want to know what's really going on. The pickup artists of the past, they had the SNLs, which was same night lays and stuff like that. They were meeting chicks at the club. Everybody knows that happens. Everybody knows that happens. That's not new. But guess what the feature is of that? The feature of that is you didn't have to go on a date to have sex with that woman. You might have had to buy a drink. You might have had to buy a round. But you went home with that woman on the same night. Guess what else? You have Tinder out here. Guess what's happening on Tinder? The guys are going straight to the woman's house the first time that they link, and they are having sex. This is happening on Facebook. This is happening on Instagram. This is happening everywhere. This is what people are not telling you within this whole dating manosphere shit, because they're trying to give you responsible narratives instead of telling you what's really going on as far as what the women are really doing and what the men are really getting. That's what they don't want to do. Now, this is the truth. There will be some times where you have to have a date, but that's not always necessary. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be very, very honest with you, because I had to lay all of that out to let you know this. When it comes to that woman that you were going on a date with, it's nothing wrong with going on a date, dog. Go on your date, feel each other out, da-da-da-da-da. I personally, you could believe in 2 dates, that's fine too. I don't. If you believe in 3 dates, you're a sucker in my opinion. Because this same woman, I can almost guarantee you, she has had sex with a guy without any dates. I can't say she had sex with 5. I can't say she had sex with 10. But I know women. I know a lot of women. I've had a lot of experiences myself. My dudes have had a lot of experiences themselves. I know dudes. I know a lot of dudes who be slaying shit throughout my life. I've known dudes throughout my whole life who be slaying shit. And that's the thing. Some of y'all, like, I don't know if you actually know guys who are out here slaying these chicks. I don't know if you know guys who are actually slaying these chicks. And guess what? Dates, even in my 30s, bro, dates really don't be the prerequisite for getting a lot of these chicks. That's just what it is. So if you got to go on a date, that means that, yo, man, maybe she's a bit skeptical. Maybe she's not comfortable. Maybe you're meeting her off of a dating site. Maybe she has to get to warm up to you, which you could take time and talk to her through the phone and stuff like that. But whatever, if you decide to do a date, it is what it is. It's not all the way there yet. But if you have to do 2, 3, 4, 5 dates, she don't fucking like you, dog. That's what that's a sign of. She doesn't really like you. She doesn't really like you. That attraction is not high. That's just what it is. Because when you have high attraction, real attraction, the coochie is going to be falling off the bone when you pick it up out the crock pot. That's just what it is. It's going to be tender. It's going to be tender, juicy pussy for you, dog. That's just what it is. That's the real. And one of the main reasons that I let you know all of this, because, you know, these are things that are not being said within the manosphere. And it's the fucking truth. It's just the truth. It's really what's going on. I'm not saying nothing that's extremely harmful, because if it was harmful, it wouldn't be happening. If it was harmful, women wouldn't be engaging in this and men wouldn't be engaging in this. So there might be some, like, you know, harmfulness as far as society and all of this other stuff. But when we talk about individuals, none of them actually who engage in it look at it as harmful. So they wouldn't be able to criticize this information honestly. But the thing about this, outside of 50 dates like Adam Sandler, you having to do 50 dates and that being an indication that she's not attracted to you. The other thing is, you're a man. You know what it is, bruh. You don't want to be with a chick and it take you more effort than it take the next man to get her. That's just what it is. Let you be the one who got to take the chick that got trained by everybody for just a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle from McDonald's and a couple of shots of Don Julio. The whole team hit her just for that little bit. But you are now, because she don't want to be a hoe no more and you look like a good husband type, now she want to take you on a fifth date. You want to go on a fifth date with her and really explore her, get to know her, and you're trying to make an honest woman out of her, all that stuff. Like if you knew, don't get it twisted, there's some suckers out here, but if you knew, more than likely you would be like, it would disgust you that you had to do all this to get her. That's just what it is. Now, I'm not saying the majority of women have gotten trained for McGriddle and 2 shots of Don Julio. What I'm saying is, on the real, most of these chicks have gotten fucked at some point in their life by a guy who hasn't taken them on a date. Now, the one rebuttal to that you see a lot is, well, I'm not allowed to raise my standards. I'm not allowed to raise my standards. Like, listen, you as an individual woman, yes, you're allowed to raise your standards. You can do that. But if the guy finds out, your past and that you have slept with a dude, like, you know, and you was just head over heels from him, you had a one night stand or whatever the case may be, he's going to compare himself to that nigga. You could say it's insecurity, but it's going to rub him the wrong way. The gauntlets that you put him through, him being a better man. And even if it's an ex, if you find out that you got with your ex and you had sex with him, like within the first few days of you even knowing him, y'all never went out, and, you know, you one of them chicks who say, oh, a guy never took me on a date before, but, you know, one of those, like, you know, whatever. Well, this is the other thing about that, you know, we don't really care about your imaginary standards. That's just the other thing. We really don't care. Because the thing about them is, like I just mentioned, they are imaginary. You were setting up stipulations because, you were still that woman. Like, I know you would like to think that you changed. You probably didn't change. There's probably still a guy that if you're attracted to him enough, you're going to fuck him. And this is just real. And I understand it's not all women. I understand it's not all women. But listen, if you talk to a bunch of players and stuff like that, or you know a bunch of players, man, it'll be a chick who came off a date with a dude. She come through with the styrofoam and get cracked by that guy. She get cracked by that guy while she's dating the other guy. It's a treacherous game. Women don't have no empathy when it comes to this side of the game because, number one, they sneaky with it. You know, they'll deny all of this stuff that I'm saying. They won't acknowledge none of it. They'll say that it's not all women, and it's especially not them because they're so different. They're unicorns and stuff like that. Just sneaky when it comes to that. Just chameleons. That's what they do. But the other thing about that is they don't have to earn men, or matter of fact, forget that. They don't have to earn sex in the way that a man has to earn sex. They have to earn commitment. And even then, they don't do a good job at that, if we being honest. They don't do it. That's how come it's so easy to just string them along as far as some dudes who do that. Because there's not a real, they don't really put the real effort there. They just pressure the guy. That's their go-to move. They just pressure the guy. What are we? And that's it. You know, don't get it twisted. It's a lot of women out here who actually bring real value to dudes' lives. And a lot of those women get cuffed. A lot of those women get married. But if we talking about just the default, yeah. So with that being said, I think I'm gonna wrap it up, man. Let me know your thoughts. I'm out.
Like you should like hold off as long as possible. I
Why?
mean, I've been there. Like I feel like we've all done it. Like we've done it on the first night. Like I've been there, but like it usually like no, that's never the way to go. Like the longer you wait, the better. I feel like in my experience.
I don't believe that anymore at all. As you get older as a man, you don't want to wait forever to like dick a bitch down, right?
They're
You gotta test drive the car after a certain point in time. So the longer she makes you wait, I feel like another dude is already hitting it. So
No.
yeah, she's getting it somewhere else. They're always talking to somebody else. I always feel like there's somebody else talking to
It's
them.
called dating.
It's not dating. It's not dating. Somebody else is getting it.